Buggiest thing
And
ever. So-
That never changed.
it's called a
just
feature
gonna
of
bring
the
that up.
game, okay? It is a feature.
All right, Libro, how about you?
All right. So, obviously, growing up since like the days of Red and Blue and everything, playing all the mainline series. So, it was just really cool. Like before when Google Maps had the Pokemon around on the maps and
Mhm,
you could like, see that. Like I really, really loved that. Then, there was some rumblings then. So I was with playing Niantic games, like honestly, since the beginning when they were still a part of Google, right? Ingress. I was heavily, heavily into Ingress, and I actually did a lot of live events. I was part of the biking team as well too. I actually have a few pictures that I could like drum up, but like I got to meet like John there at all the events from beforehand too. He used to be super more into character. He had his own role, his own character in Ingress and whatnot. And so like, I knew a lot of Niantic stuff and a few of the staff from back then. But then when I saw like they were creating Pokemon Go, I was like, oh shoot, like this is pretty dope. Like you're really gonna be able to walk around, be able to play. And I remember a spot I used to live not too far up here in New York, was a place called like Scarsdale. And I just remember going outside and just same thing too. It definitely was something. Definitely buggy. Didn't understand really what things were going on to, and like the most famous things that you heard at the beginning when people downloaded it from everywhere was, "How do I walk? I can't walk. I can't walk." I love that. Even still today, if some people just download it now just because they want to hang out with like us or their kids or something, how do you walk in this? You walk. You actually must walk. You get up and walk. That's how you do it. It's been going through the growing pains, and getting the features that are there that things don't work all the time. That's a feature. You get to explore stuff and vent
mhm,
out some frustration while exercising. So yeah, I've been around since the beginning to 2016, and like I've just been for all the stuff that happens, for all the things that go on. I'm really excited to be a part of this community and just Pokemon Go has really helped me to explore my world at like explore the world at a greater scale. And for all the good, bad, and indifferent, the people that I've met throughout the entire time, and even having this opportunity to talk with other interesting characters as yourself, I do like the aspect that it has brought a bunch of people that would never even truly know each other
mhm.
and never just like pass each other on a daily basis. It's just opened up so many things because yeah, we get together and it's about Pokemon and we got this shiny or that hundo or whatever. But at the end of the day, the people are what make it, and I'm just I'm really grateful for that aspect of it because I do like the human side of it. I like to collect the human souls. So
Yes.
that's my go to and why I continue to still play till today.
Okay, okay. Interesting because we all have a different perspective to the game, right? I, you know, I started off in 2016 as well. But it died out on me. Like I was one of those players who dropped it, came back on it like around 2020, dropped it real quick, and just this past year, 2023 of September, it's when I got really into the game, and I never expected Pokemon Go to take my life into a journey where I would meet many, many people. And it's not just like local people. We're talking about people from all over the world. Casino Tour was my first event of last year, and I had a blast. And believe that's when I met Zabs. I met him at Trainer Tips after party. Um, Great guy, amazing guy, helped me out a lot, had great stories, and we just clicked as friends, and I feel like that's the beauty of it because you just meet someone right away, and it's a quick connection to someone else. You know what I mean? And
Hmm.
then when GoFest came around for New York, that was my first time going to New York. It was my first time went with friends, a little small group of us, and I've met even more people. I have friends in Japan, all over the world, and I feel like it brings a lot of people in together. Which one brings me to the next section, and I'm pretty sure you're aware of it with February's obviously the new events that are popping up. Like, is the event getting better for in your point of view, or is the event, you know, going in a different direction?
Mm,
Hmm.
good question.
You know, I That's definitely an interesting thought. Um, because a lot of things are always happening all at once in this game.
Yeah.
It's never been a progression. It's always been like, you've got the ocean and
Mhm.
things kind of like get spread into the ocean. And for better or for worse, some things are going to work out in some areas and some things aren't going to work out as good in other areas.
Mhm.
And sometimes you get a tsunami that hurts everybody, and sometimes you get really calm waves that everyone can just chill and enjoy. Um, like some events are really exciting, and it's one of those situations where it's like everybody loved that, you know.
Mhm.
And then other events are really challenging because think of the first Articuno, right? Articuno Dynamax we just had. Were people ready? Could they format it? Did they prepare? Or did a lot of people show up with their Wooloos and Suavets, right? And you could only you yourself, whether you're an event host, a community ambassador, or just a community leader, or like just someone in the community who's a friendly person, you only have so much max particles to do so many of these
Mhm.
max battles, right? You can't help everybody. So how do you do this? How do you help them help themselves? And so sometimes it can be a really challenging event that might not be as successful as other events. Like when we first had which Go tour was that? We got Necrozma, right? And
Mhm.
oh, that was so much fun. You could walk anywhere, get as many Necrozmas as you wanted, or you could afford, I guess. you know?
Mhm.
And of course, if your city has a lot of raid, gyms in proximity to where you normally hang out, that's even better. But they kept cycling over and over throughout the event, right? So you could just
Mhm.
raid, wait for them to come back, raid, wait for them to come back. And people really like that option as well, you know? So I feel some events, they experiment with them and, they work out really well. Maybe other parts don't work out as well. And then other events uh, are a lot more of a miss than a hit, but there's great things to learn from it.
Mhm.
Overall, max battles, great mechanic. I'm so happy to have this in this
Mhm.
game finally. Actual strategy,
I know.
not
Me
just
too.
Mhm.
who you're choosing, right?
Mhm.
IVs don't matter. Actual strategy between the move set you're choosing, and when you're using which Pokemon. And that's something that obviously in PvP that's normal to you. You already know that you got to do that sort of behavior. But with the regular players who avoid PvP, they don't have that attitude. So now everyone's slowly gonna have to start to think like that, and I think that's a win. But overall, yeah, I think it's like any developer, there's gonna be hit and miss for sure.
Yeah. Any word from you, Libro?
Yeah, so, just about that as well too, like, one thing just since we just fresh off of the Dynamax, so this is the one thing too, it's like, am I one of the biggest PvPers? No, absolutely not. I will tell you, I try to actively avoid that as much as humanly possible. Definitely more so like something rare, shiny collector, that's totally me. But what I really appreciate the most from doing this, like, yeah, I don't like the particle system way it is, like, having a daily cap, we could go on for days where it's like, "Okay, this is not right," and it's like, if you want me to exercise, don't put a cap on. Let me walk. If I want to spend, the entire day walking 20 kilometers like straight through and through, man, let me do that. Let me be out and do that.
Yeah.
But, that being said, what I love the most about it, I do love the fact that you do have to strategize. And I like that part. That was something I always liked for the mainline game. It's like even when I would be, let's say, me and Zabi, we were with some of our other friends, we're on the Switch and we're like, okay, you're gonna bring this in, somebody's gonna bring this in. I really do like it. And I understand how it can be frustrating for some, but it's one of those things where it's like, you know, this helps you to actually foster more communication with people and like, you
Yes.
know, I love that aspect, and, like, yeah, maybe I do have more dust, maybe I do have better Pokemon. Okay, I'm gonna max this one out, I'm gonna be the healer. I know somebody's lacking certain area, I know bring out the tank, and then I'm gonna use that to heal everybody else, like, I enjoy that team aspect, and it reminds me of a lot of, like, Ingress and other things. You got these keys, we have to all participate, everybody's gotta throw something in, even if it's weak or maybe somebody doesn't know. Okay, so you know what? Evolve this one, push it up to this level, it'll survive a little bit more, when you see this happen, like, I do love the variety that we're getting now with this and having different Pokemon for different things, whether it just be a general raid, whether it be the max battles. I do appreciate actually bringing some new fresh life into Pokemon Go. And this
Mhm.
was definitely one of the right areas. Is there room for improvement? Absolutely, but I do love this aspect. Now, one of my big proponents, one of the things I do now, do my childish brain. Uh, let me go with that. One of the things I do like and that I appreciate the opportunity that, Niantic and meeting some of these people throughout the world. I work hard, but I also work hard to go travel and go to the live events, and I try to make it to as many as I can. Not so much the safari zones. Sometimes I'll be able to go, but really I want to focus on like, the tour events or like, one of the
Mhm.
new events like the Go Wild area and obviously Go Fest. I'm gonna be dead tired, but I'm gonna be in Osaka, then it's back here in Jersey, and then it's gonna be in France the next week. I'm gonna be wiped, but what I love the most about that is because you get to see how the events are different everywhere else. And like, when I'm doing interviews with people and talking with them, you could just see the stark difference. And there's sometimes I know this is gonna sound really weird. I know it's gonna sound totally weird, but let me tell you this right now. I can say that literally a lot of the European, but mostly ours, the American, like, Go Fest events, I think they do a phenomenal, crazy job with the biomes and the stuff that they put together to really immerse you.
Mhm.
I will have to say we are actually topping out with that. I was especially like some of the events that I've been to in Japan. I was kind of like let down with some of them. They went a little bit, really, really minimalistic. And I know each region has its own budgeting for stuff, but I can definitely say this, like, the last time I was at the Go Fest in Osaka when they had it over there before, I was very let down because they went for this like little funky minimalist art deco thing for the biomes, and I was like, damn, this was not what I expected. And then you come here 2 hours, and I was like, yo, this is how Japan should be. This is your home. But it's one of those things where that's just my take on it, and that's how I feel, but the biggest thing I like about going to the events is just getting to meet people from everywhere. And like even going there, I've met people for the first time that have come to Japan. And for me, this was like, just recently from like the Go Wild area. It was like
Mhm.
the 20th time because I go there much more frequently now because I have a lot more friends there. I'm able to stay with them now. It does save me a crap ton of money. And I don't mind doing red eyes, whatever's going to be the cheapest way I could get over there. But I try to stay there a little bit longer so I could be with the people that I know. And I just love being able to be engrossed in different cultures. I like being the tourist because I want my friends to take me around. Just like when my Japanese friends come here, just come here. I'll take care of you. I got you. I'm gonna take you to the best food places, little haunts, things that you wouldn't know, because I want them to feel comfortable in that home
Of
when they're
course, of
here.
course.
So for me, I love these events because it just gives us that chance. And please, I'm always bringing gifts over to whether it be Europe or Japan. I'm bringing stuff for other people, and they come here and do it too. In terms of the evolution of the events, I would have to say if you want to like rank it where one's being the top, if you've never had a chance to do a Go Fest, everybody should at least do one at some
Mhm.
point. It's
Oh
definitely
yeah,
fun to be
agreed.
engrossed. Everybody
Agreed.
should do at least one Go Fest. It's totally, totally different to be immersed in that, see everything there, just having fun and just be in that world. It is awesome, in my opinion. Second
I agree.
tier, I would say, is like the Go tours are great too. They're like mini Go Fest, so I like it for that. If you could do that, great. Then I would say now the third tier, you can argue the city safaris, the safari zones sort of things. Those are fun. Do you need to do it? No, not necessarily. But if you happen to be close and you can, yeah, sure, why not go do it? I will say though, this is one thing even for you guys too, like, because when they first did the wild area and they did it in Fukuoka, um, what I enjoyed the most out of this one is that it was small. It's definitely not something if you feel like you missed out, you didn't miss out. I'll tell you this right now. You did not miss out at all. But what was you definitely didn't. The only thing, if you are a raider, then I'm going to highly suggest you do the wild area because it's small. It's one small park, but when I tell you the amount of I did while I was there for the days, I did at least probably about 235 raids, and you didn't have to move anywhere. You could just like park yourself, walk in a circle, and they were just popping off like crazy. You want a Snorlax, focus on Snorlax. You want Dialga, you want this, you want Toxtricity. Like I would say, if you're a raider and you're going for like trying to maximize your shiny rates or get like some of the powerful Pokemon and stuff like that, it was just so nice and easy because you didn't have to go far. And that's what I loved about it. It made it very condensed and very easy to go back and forth. And you were able to, you basically one of those things, choose your own adventure. You want to focus on getting mighty Pokemon? Fine. You went to mighty Pokemon. You want to focus on specific raids? It kept popping off like crazy. You can do those raids right there. So I really liked the wild area just for that. You picked what you want to do. You want to raid? Go raid. You want to go collect and look for, a specific shiny Pokemon? Go hunt for that. It was actually really efficient, really, really efficient. I have to give them credit to that. It was awesome not having to spend 20 minutes running between biomes. So for me, I like that it varies out. And I would say these sort of live events, there's something for everyone. And that's one of the things I try to like gear people when they say, oh, I want to go to a live event, but which one should I do? If you tell me, do you want to go big or go home? Go to Go Fest. If you're like, I just want to check it out and be with some more people, do a LA tour, do a city safari. If you want to grind out and get something damn good, definitely go for the new wild area events that they're popping up. And that's just, how I could suggest people that that's something they should do again. I like it too because, budgeting wise, this was something that was cheaper and easily more accessible for people that were in that region of Japan or were able to get to it. And that's the best that I could say on those.
Awesome, awesome. I agree with you there. For Wild Area, it
Mhm.
was super fun. It brought back like a lot of memories from the first year it came out from 2016, because you've had so many, you had big groups, and obviously with the mighty Pokemons added into the game, you had that feeling again from 2016 all over again. You had people, oh my God, Dragonite over here, or like Gyarados, and you just had that crowd just walking towards it. It was just 2016 vibes all over again. I enjoy that event. I agree with you on that one. Sorry.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
what do you?
I did I did all those events from locally for whether it was Go To or Go Wild, all of them from here. I don't do a lot of traveling. I did get to go to Seattle Go Fest when that was local. I did go to Chicago Go Fest before lockdown, and I did have the chance to get the one Canadian Safari Zone over in Montreal. But yeah, I usually am that person who hosts here, so I'm always trying to get feedback from the community and what they kind of enjoyed for what they experienced here in person. And yeah, I completely forgot about the mighty Pokemon, but those were actually pretty cool to have as an opportunity because some people they're brand new. They've returned to the game after, whether it was like yourself, Go Face, where it's like a hiatus that they just had. They couldn't get into it back then, or they did and they dropped off, but they came back. And so suddenly you have these really high level Pokemon just you've got a Safari Ball. Do it. Get it. They're yours. And that was really cool because some of these are actually really great counters, whether it was Dragonite, whether it was Kingler, whatever it could have been. And yeah, whether the in-person wild areas that people went to in person that they're really excited about, but also, like I said, like the opportunity to just stay in one place and do something was really great for people here because we're really lucky in Vancouver that it as far as Canadian cities go, if you compare them to American cities, we are not big. Our biggest cities here are not the metropolitan regions you guys have on your side of the border. But they're very walkable. Vancouver is so walkable, and we're really blessed for that. And the place we do a lot of our meetups is in an area where you don't have to worry about vehicles getting into your way. You don't have to worry about, other pedestrians being annoyed by hundreds of people hanging out in the same park. And it was a really great day that everyone got to sort of like, test the waters of this game again. So I totally agree. Anyone who has a chance to travel absolutely should travel. But these games, I feel Niantic has been doing a the wild area was definitely kind of sprung on us last minute. I don't think anyone expected it. Um,
Mhm.
but they did a really good job of giving us something that we could work with, even if it did kind of. I don't know about you guys, but as someone who hosts every meetup, it did kind of push my ability to host to quite a max here, because those max dens weren't where I normally, take my walking groups. I had to go outside of where my normal walking area is to find them. Um, and I don't know if you've ever led 200 to 300 people on a walk down the road. It's a different experience, and I think Niantic maybe should consider that not because everyone's going to have a couple hundred people in a walking train, but just because if you move your players outside of their parks where they're safe, and people expect a ton of people to be in a park setting, to where the businesses are, because most of the max spots are business locations, that could be a challenge for the community. That could be putting pressure on their city in a way that normally they don't have to deal with. But overall, I think definitely the in-person aspect has improved for like people who are staying local for sure.
Of course, of course. Um, I didn't have this on my notes, but I want to go back into the raids how we were talking about.
Mhm.
Because looking at the content we have for February, we have Shadow Regirock, right?
Mhm.
Now we know that Shadow raids are not remotable, but Niantic gifted us for Shadow Ho-Oh for that little period of time for the Go Rocket event. We were actually able to remote Shadow raids. What do you think about that? Like, is it something that we should still have and be able to do, or keep it as an in-person thing?
Uh, mm. If you don't mind, I'll just want to go real quick on that, and these are
Yeah,
my
go for it.
personal thoughts. To be honest with you, I think with the shadow raids, I think it's fun and be able to go into. To be personally honest, they should be able to be remotable because, like right now, since we have a lot of these Dynamax and everything going on that can only be done in person. It's kind
Hmm.
of like why leave the shadow locked behind that? Just open it up, turn on the switch, leave it on permanently. They're not around all the time. It is a regular raid. There's other people that want to do it. It's already hard enough, and this is the whole thing too, right? We're supposed to collect these purified gems from the rockets. It gets transferred into that little purified box, and we have to throw it in there. So it's like if you want people to work together, this is the most surefire way to get people to work together too. People are going to use those purified gems or just straight up bully the Pokemon into subduing. But it's like open that up. Let that just be a thing. Open it up. You don't have to have as many shadow raids. I definitely understand if you want to turn them on a little bit here and there. It's already something that's rare, doesn't pop up all the time. Let us stay in. Let us be able to remote it because you've already said Dynamax are like the dens in the game. You have to physically go to the location. I'm
Hmm.
okay with that. Leave the Dynamax to being in person, which that's totally fine. Small groups, do it right there. Totally okay with that. But when it comes to the other shadow raids, to me, if you want people to get more into PvP, and I'm not a PvPer, I'm not advocating for it, but if you want people to do PvP, people do like the shadow Pokemon for their PvP. Hey, here's one surefire way to allow people to raid more, essentially, right? So leave it open.
Yeah, I agree completely. It's if they're going to give us different types of, I guess, raids,
Hmm.
all these different rules for all the different types of raid battles is going to start feeling very inconsistent, because when are they going to suddenly spring on us terror raids, right? That's going to come
Hmm.
eventually. Maybe not this
Hmm.
year, maybe not
Hmm.
next year, but it's
Hmm.
coming. Terror raids around their
Hmm.
court somewhere. And so what are those rules going to be like, right?
Hmm.
If
Right.
regular shadow raids that are just the normal standard type of raid battle, they should be under those same standard type of raid battle rules, which is they have remote raids available. I don't think they need to be any easier. They can stay as hard as they want them, whether they're going to be like 5 stars,
Hmm.
6 stars. I don't care. I mean, not because I level 50, but just because like as a player, just keep the rules consistent. And if they want to play with the difficulty level, totally fine. If you make it impossible to do solo, fine.
Hmm.
Players will have to find other players to play with one way or another, and whether that's in person or remote, because they don't have a community locally, let them do it remotely, right? You want people to not have so many barriers, and that's the reality of the situation. There are a lot of people who just don't have a community that they can just go on Discord and be like, hey guys, there's Shadow Regirock, let's go get him. That's not
Hmm.
an option for a lot of people, but now remote raiding is not an option for them because you can't remote raid Shadow Boss. Um, Giving us Ho-Oh, Shadow Ho-Oh, who wasn't even new, as a remote raidable option was neat. I didn't use it. I don't know anyone who did, but then I wasn't looking for it at the same time. But I feel like it evens it out, right? It makes it consistent for regular raiding. And
Mhm.
I think that's a good rule. So that way, when people see that kind of a raid, they can easier remember what the rules are. Can I remote it? Yes, no. What's the cost of entry? A remote raid pass, or like a premium battle pass, or what's the other one? The green one. What's a battle pass? There's so much to have to remember to begin with. So just try
Yeah.
to
Mhm.
make it consistent throughout, because again, like, what do we have now? Max particles. I can't use a
Mhm.
raid pass on a max battle. I need max particles. And you know what? I could only do one legendary bird per day unless I collected yesterday or I paid money for more. Like, I
Mhm.
have to remember all these things. And when you've already remembered a ton of stuff, it's easier to remember the new stuff. But if you're brand new or you're a returning player, remembering all this stuff is difficult. It's a lot to force on people. And that's
Mhm.
that's a barrier to keeping on. I think that's a barrier to people to want to keep playing, because it's oh god, all the different mechanics is a lot of pressure, I think, on people who are just trying to enjoy something casually. It's different when you have a handheld Pokemon game and, oh, what's a Dynamax Pokemon? What's a Dynamax Den? What's Gigantamax? But when you're playing Pokemon Go and they've ingrained in us some very specific rules about how to play, and then they change it up with a new feature, um, you know, again, we're used to things having to be a certain way, and so we're not going to be prepared. It's going to be take a bit of time to remember the new rules, the new cost of entry, and I think making it consistent, something like a Shadow Raid Pass, whether
Mhm.
you use remotes or not, it should just be the same as all the other regular raids of that type.
I agree. I
It,
agree with you there. I really do.
one thing I just want to quickly add on to that real quick, something that, because again, I always try out and see the different Niantic games to see what's going on. Again, different companies, whatever. I do also heavily play Monster Hunter now.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
one thing, one thing that I would say that I would like for them to transition with Pokemon Go, like you were saying, and this is another thing too, right? Even though I live right outside of New York City, I'm up in Westchester. Like for the community up here, we're all very separated and sparse. You need a car to get around. It's just you can only play Pokemon Go by going to cars over here in Westchester. It's far to get to the parks, and it's understandable up here. In the city, it's just so much an easier experience. And I think
Mhm.
one of the things that would be good to do, something that I would like for them to pull from Monster Hunter, for like let's say Go Tour events or for Pokemon Go Fest, and it's like, if you wanted to leverage out saying cost analysis wise, I think if they did something like they do in Monster Hunter, where like during some of the events, you buy one of these battle passes, you could do as many of the monster hunts, which is a series of five monsters, five, monster bosses, let's say, that you go straight through. I would love for them to have something like that in Pogo. Even if you, let's say, you bought an unlimited pass. The unlimited pass is $15. But for that pass for let's say 2 days straight, you could do as many raids as you want locally, right? So you could walk up and down, go crazy. You want us to be active? Have that. Then you get your value out of it. Is it like the raid pass, $1 per pass? You can only do 15. You can lose money and just do 5. Or if you want to go, crazy, do 20, 30, 40. I think something like that would be, a pretty nice little leverage thing just for like those special type of events. I don't know. I think that would be pretty good to have.
I agree. Because you remember, did you play Wizards Unite when that was around?
Yes, I did, and I went to listen, their fest, that Wizard Unite fest, I'm not gonna lie to you, that was probably the dopest thing that I've seen. It was better than some of the Go Fest. They had fixtures, they had eggs, they had dragons, they had the clock, they had the spider webs. I'm not gonna lie, that that Harry Potter Wizard Fest was the amount of work they put into the actual fixtures was really dope. I'm not gonna lie. It was pretty
Yeah.
cool.
What I want to bring up from that is that's where we got the ready up button. When you did in Harry Potter Wizards Unite, they had, quote unquote
The
raid
night
battles
bus.
as well, but it was in they were fortresses. They weren't obviously raids. It was a fortress, and you had the battle as a group in the fortresses. Um, and they had a ready up button. We wanted a ready up button for years in Pokemon, but it was Wizards
Mm-hmm,
Unite
mm-hmm,
who got that first. And finally, after I get my gosh, after the pandemic, we finally got a ready up button. It took so
mm-hmm,
long to get that, but like, I agree completely. The other teams working on the other games, it's all the same base, you know map idea, but the other games have some really great ideas. I definitely think best practices could be transferred to Pokemon, no problem. Well, okay, I say no problem, but you know.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't do that Harry Potter. I've been strictly on Pokemon Go, and I have heard a lot about Monster Hunter. I haven't attempted it yet. I haven't tried it. It's been in the back of my mind, but at the moment, my mind has been stuck on Pokemon. Since I'm probably one of the newest ambassadors, well, not newest, but out of the group of us, I'm the second newest. So
Mhm.
being as an ambassador, trying to keep up with the community, helping out, because I got a lot of new players coming back. I got new players. I got players coming back. So they've been asking a lot of questions about Pokemon Go, especially when it comes to the Unova tour, since it's just
Yeah.
around the corner. You
Yeah.
know,
Mhm.
and some of them don't even know anything about the fusions yet because they went there for the
Mhm.
Necrozma yet. So they're asking a lot
Hmm.
of questions about how is it going to work. I feel like it's going to be the same method as the Necrozma. I mean, they've already shown it,
Mhm.
right? I've seen it on
Yeah.
Instagram.
Yeah.
Uh, and yeah, like I know, sadly at the moment, I know there's still a couple fires. The fire's still there. I mean, it's away from the Rose Bowl. But if the event does happen, um, hold the whole black and white Kyurem is. I know black and white Kyurem is coming out, but Keldeo was a mythical Pokemon. Mythical, right? It's a mythical
Yes,
Pokemon.
Keldeo. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
It has not come back, and it's been one of the ones that I've always wanted. Because I figured last year was Sinnoh. I figured this year was going to be Unova, and I know it was
yep.
a paid research a couple years back, and it's the only one I need to complete my Unova decks. It's the only one. Okay, so
Oh
would it be a
no.
nice surprise if Niantic like not gifted us, but a nice surprise Keldeo returned, or would it not be?
Oh, I'm that person who will always shell out and pay for the extra mythicals.
Yeah.
Oh God,
Yeah.
no! It doesn't matter how much I have in my bank account. Your Niantic I will buy the mythicals, no problem. I
Mhm.
have every single time there was a Cosmog available, I got one for sure.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
you know, I don't want to say it's worth it, but I like the option of just straight up being able to buy a Pokemon legitimately from Niantic. The amount of money we spend on raid battles trying to get a shiny,
I know.
and trying to get the hundo because they've programmed us to have so much value in IVs, which shame on us, but um
Yeah.
yeah, you spend hundreds of dollars sometimes just trying to get one shiny legendary. And as long as you're having a good time and friends who can share that experience with you, it's going to be worthwhile. But that feeling, that satisfaction of just getting what you want immediately,
Mhm.
Mhm.
that feels good. Completing that dex feels so good because that was always a goal. No matter what game you played, there's two goals:
Yes.
You
complete
had
the
to finish
dex,
that deck.
yeah,
Mhm.
right, or beat the game, or both,
Yeah.
or all of the above.
Mhm.
And in Pokemon Go, this is a game where you kind of have to set your own goals over and over and over again, because you keep hitting them. Okay, you
Mhm.
finished the dex. Now what? Well, now you need the shiny dex. Okay, you finished the shiny dex.
Yep.
Now what? Well, now I need the hundo dex. Okay, you've got the
Mhm.
hundo dex. Now what? The background dex. I don't know, but you keep going, right? You keep going. You keep making up things to keep it interesting. Um, but sometimes you just want that easy win, and you just want that mythical now.
Yeah.
You know. I feel you
Speaking of
on that.
breaking of things back, one of the things I do have to say, I do wish they would bring back for people that don't. You know what? I have a few armored Mewtwo left, and there was this really, really,
Gosh, right?
there was this really nice kid. He was pulling on my heartstrings over there in Japan, and he made a sign. He wrote it in English, and I was like, oh, I have to give you one now. Why did you do this?
Oh
Why did
no!
you do this? But of course, you know what he gets? He gets the freaking 98 like lucky. I'm like, yep, that would be me. I listen,
Oh.
I don't get good stuff. My account is cursed. It is proverbially cursed, but I swear to you on everything. Come ride with me, walk with me. You will get it. Ever since Articuno came out, the amount of Articunos I've done, every other
Yeah.
person around me has got a hundo, or my freaking friend that's in Japan right now, the last raid of the day, he gets a shiny shadow hundo. And it really
Oh
I,
man.
I wanted to hurt someone that day. I still have
I'm
not
that
seen a
person.
hundo.
Really?
I have
At
not
all?
seen a hundo. I have at all. Not even, I can't even say one ran away from me. I have not seen one. It is the only one that I freaking want because I do love Articuno and I still don't have it. But just I'm getting off track. The main thing is I wish they would bring that back for people who haven't had it. And just like, one of my other friends too, she doesn't have the clone Pokemon. Lucky I
Mhm,
kept some
mhm.
from around. I wish I would have kept a lot more. And that's the whole thing too. When I go to these live events, I know there's some people here that don't get a chance to come out, or I know some people have their kids here that I know they're definitely not going to travel with them. I like to save a lot and bring it back for them so that they have something. I do
Yep.
like doing that for people who can't travel. I'm like, okay, well, at least if I could do this for you, it's a little digital thing, but here, listen, take this little NFT Pokemon. Here you go. I'm giving it to you.
I feel
Yep.
like I feel like I would cry if someone were to give me a clone Pikachu. That's one of the
Clone
ones I've been wanting.
Pikachu.
The clone Pikachu is one that I've always wanted, and I've asked in my group if anybody has it. But like I said, a lot of my members in my group are returning players or they're new players. So it's like it's been very difficult to find someone. And when you do find someone, they want something I don't have. You know what I mean? They
Hmm.
came back September 23rd. I started Grubbin Community Day. I bought the ticket not even knowing what it was. And I see Grubbins everywhere. I'm over here like, oh my gosh, shiny, shiny, shiny. What is this? You know what I mean? So uh, we are getting off topic. Oh my God.
Sorry. Oh man,
We got to get back to
we're
the
gonna make.
February contents.
Yeah, sorry.
I
But
am
yes,
back, by the way.
thank you,
Welcome
P-Ball. Thank you
back.
for coming back.
I've been listening, but waiting for a time to jump in. So go ahead.
Hey, go ahead, go ahead.
No, I'm good. You were
Hey,
Okay.
Ball,
going
don't you
over.
have a clone Pikachu for this man? Come
I
on.
don't know. I
You've been
might
playing a while.
actually, but
It's gonna cost me. It's gonna cost me. Watch.
uh, no, I don't care that much. But I'll have to
All
check. I
right,
don't know if I have a clone Pikachu, honestly.
you're gonna get tears from me, brother. You're gonna get tears from me of
It's gonna
joy.
be a
Okay.
reenactment of the movie scene, right?
Oh God.
Th- It's on topic because that's where it came from. So
Yes, yes. Well, but also, Leo, I'm with you on the Articuno too. I haven't gotten a single shiny, and I've soloed Articuno multiple times already. I have not gotten the chance for a hundo or a shiny. All of mine have been really bad IVs
Oh,
on that.
I
Really
will
bad.
gladly give you a shiny. I just want a hundo. I don't even care at this point. I will give you a shiny. Please take it.
You'll end up giving me the shundo.
And that's what's gonna happen. Don't worry. I promise you, you'll get it. I won't, but you'll get it.
People, you want to add anything since you're back?
well, I don't even remember what the question was for this one now.
The question one?
Yeah, for what were we? What was the initial discussion on this part?
I don't know. We lost ourselves.
Yeah, okay.
Debro brought out Articuno, and then it went downhill from there.
I was like bringing stuff back.
Hey, the good memories, though.
Yeah, we did. You asked briefly about bringing back Keldeo, for example, as a
Oh,
Yes,
surprise. And prior to that, we were just talking about our impressions of the events and if they've been hitting or missing.
they did bring back a mythical Pokemon back, right? Two players who
they
were
have,
new,
yeah.
right?
Mhm.
It was who was I don't even know who it was.
Well, they did Mew
They
at
did
one
Mew,
point,
yeah.
and then they did, I
The
don't know,
most
was it
recent one.
Celebi?
Yes, it was Celebi. So I mean,
Celebi.
they're able to do it. I mean, it's just
Mhm.
Keldeo is just I guess it's just a prized possession for them at the moment.
I had this conversation like 2 days ago. Same thing. My members like, are they bringing back Keldeo for this one? I'm like, I haven't heard anything.
Yeah, neither
Last
have
one for
I.
the decks.
It really is. It really
Well, just speaking on that thing with the mythical though, that's the one thing I do have to say. You know what really grinds my gears? Stop making Genesect a freaking mythical Pokemon. My freaking lord. It makes no sense and I hate it. All right. I'm just gonna say that. Absolutely hate it.
is it because it's Genesix coming back? Is that what it is?
Genesect has been back for so many freaking times, man. I just stop making it be mythical. It should not be a mythical. It makes no sense. I hate it. It's absolutely terrible. It is dumb. It is absolutely dumb. I don't want to hear it. He's not mythical. It's a freaking bug, and that bug has been cloned many times. I don't want to hear it. They need to just not make it mythical. Turn it off and let me trade it. My lord.
That's the thing I want. Don't give me Pokemon I can't trade. Everything should be tradable. Let me make some mistakes. I want that option.
Exactly. Exactly. You're only gonna
Oh,
learn if you make mistakes.
Right?
exactly. How many times has Darkrai been back? A few times, right?
Oh god.
Yeah.
I
That's
still
another
don't have a
one.
shiny for that either. I'm still struggling in that one. I gave up on that
I
one.
would love to give you. I would love to give you one.
But we
Again,
can't.
should not be something we can't trade.
Actually, there is a Pokemon coming back for the second time, actually, and it was last year's Elite Rates, which was by far a horrible mistake. And I hope I pronounced it correctly. Anomalous. What do you
Oh,
guys think about that?
Enamorous. Yep. Yep. Yep.
Yes. I was
Mhm,
I mean,
mhm.
actually one of the lucky players, lucky, super lucky, to actually get the hundo on my third raid. I was very happy with that.
oh, nice.
So, but now seeing it come back, I feel like it is a W because I can actually get its XL candies. What about you?
Mhm, mhm.
I prefer when Pokemon are around for a little bit longer than just like a weekend type thing or a single
Hmm.
elite raid kind of day. Because sometimes people aren't available, or sometimes people
Hmm.
have their job is on the weekend, and so they don't
Yeah.
have the option to participate at all. I like. I'm not a fan of, for example, if we touch back on the shadow raids again,
Hmm.
Shadow T5s are only available on the weekends.
Yeah.
So I can host meetups for those if I wanted to, no problem. I can host them from 10 a.m. till 6 p.m., no problem. But if someone's working and they can't join at all, how do they get it? How do they get their
Mhm,
Shadow Regirock? How do they get their Shadow Ho-Oh?
mhm.
Shadow anything? Um, and so that's why, like, when they introduced Raid Hour on a Wednesday, I mean, you might be that person who works Saturday, Sunday, and Wednesdays, but you know, there's at least an understanding that at least there's a weekday for people to have that 1 hour focus to
Hmm.
potentially gather together with the community and just get a bunch of raids in, and then you're done. You know. Um, but again, I don't like that limitation. I feel it's another barrier, and I would really like less barriers in some of these raid battles, some of these opportunities for people to get together, because it's really challenging as it is to get people out to get together. If you have a large enough community, you have a better time, a better opportunity for people to be willing to come join you and make time for you. But if you don't have as large a community, there's going to be less people who can make that sacrifice of their schedule. Find a babysitter or bring the kids with them, or take a day off work, or change their work schedule. It doesn't always work for people, and so having more flexibility for when these things are available, I think that's a really good thing. So Enamorous coming
Mhm.
back, absolutely a win. I don't care about Enamorous, but I do want a hundo. um and yeah, I think that's definitely worth our time.
Hmm. Oh, I thought Libra was gonna say something.
Oh no, sorry. No, no. I absolutely just agree with her entire statement because it's just true. Because I do feel that's the thing too. It's like I feel bad. Because it's like sometimes I'm not able to do things and I miss out. I'm like, oh, shoot. But like, let's say like if especially like if I'm traveling on the plane or something, I'm gonna miss something. It's like I'm not gonna be able to do the event. I do appreciate it because I do have friends in a larger community here, both Westchester and down in the city, where if I didn't get something, people know I bring back stuff for them. So I really appreciate when I can go to my friends and like, listen, I know you weren't gonna be able to do it, so here I got this one. I saved it for you. Like it means a lot because it's like I know you grinded that out, and it could be one of the other things, and I know they can trade it for some other good trade fodder because it's something really good. But like it really, I can't tell you how much I appreciate it. I know it sounds like stupid and dumb, but I appreciate that a lot when somebody's listening. I only have this one, but you do a lot for me. You always bring something back for me here. I want you to have this. Like it means a lot. But like, I would be great if there was more opportunities so I could help them do it too. Like that's my whole thing. I will jump into a raid if I know somebody who's a new player, someone never was able to get things done. I'm like, all right, let's go. I got enough stuff, and I'll tell them what to do. I'll help coach them on. You should use
Yes.
these attackers, these counters. I enjoy that aspect because you get to help them and you get them more into the game, and it's just something else to go with. Again, that strategy part, the working together. I enjoy that a lot, but it's because we've been playing for so long. I've been playing for so long. I have the dust that I could power up something if need be. I have the Pokemon to help with the counters. And especially for somebody that's just getting into it, if I can trade them something, hopefully it can become better. I want to be able to help give them that. I love being able to do that just to help give them like, that boost. I want that, and I wish, again, those barriers, lower those barriers for even like people like us. Like I wish, they gave us some sort of like in-game flair. Like how many people have you helped out with, Ray? How many people have you traded with, and you were able to, do stuff. I like that little recognition thing, and it's like just like for you all that are CAs. I enjoy all of you a lot. I really appreciate what you do because you guys could be doing anything else, but you're here to be that safe person to go to be someone that's trusted to kind of like, mitigate the problems and really coach and help people and just be that good face for it. I think it would be really good too to have something like that showing in game too as a recognition. Like you've been able to trade with people, give people, opportunities to help them out. I do like that because then at least signifies, you can go to this person and it has nothing to do with them being an expert, but somebody who's been seasoned, someone who's been vetted, somebody that can like, help show you the ropes or help you out with something.
I was touched. I
No,
was
I mean
touched.
it. I mean it. I see what you guys do. I see what you guys do all the time. Whether it's here, Japan, Europe, you name it. I see what you guys do, and I really appreciate how they've helped create this. And honestly, if you guys weren't CAs doing this stuff, not to say there aren't enough of us like, that are in here, like that would help each other out, but it's really great to have it be funneled into, such, people like you that can really be the faces of your community. I can't tell you how much easier it is to just reach out and be like, hey, who's the CA for this region? Can I talk with them? And they help put you in touch with everybody else, show you where some good places to sit
Mhm.
at, to do raids, to be safe, to have some, food places. Like you are all very invaluable. Like it's a lot that you do, and you're not all you're getting is a thanks. So for you guys to do it, it means a lot when I travel around to see you all and all the effort and work and time, blood, sweat, and tears you put into making it what it is today. So I appreciate every single one of you.
Oh, that's very kind. Thank you, Libero.
I appreciate that. I'm just excited. I'm actually one of the players who are excited for February content. I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to it with my community. Uh, Other than that, I don't know if people's got anything else for you guys.